What's up guys? Today I'm checking out the Nothing CMF Watch Pro 2. Now this is without any doubt an exciting smartwatch because for only £69 this watch will give you an AMOLED screen with always on display, 10-day battery life, multiple health sensors built in, including a multi-satellite GPS, and you get watch faces, auto workout detection, IP68 certification, Bluetooth phone calls, and the list goes on and on. So it's quite hard to ignore at this price point, so I had to pick one up to find out its true flaws and where its limitations might be. First of all, quick look at what you get inside the box. So you've got some paperwork in there, a magnetic USB charger, and the watch itself. So let's talk design. The watch is made from an aluminium alloy watch case, finished in this dark grey colour. There is an interchangeable bezel on top, which you twist to remove. So maybe in the future you'll be able to buy replacement bezels, but as it stands right now, at the time of shooting this video, there are no additional bezels that you can buy. In fact, when you remove the bezel, you actually realize how big the bezel looks. And then I can't help wishing that the bezel should have just been static and more flat and slimmer, because without the bezel, the watch feels even lighter and even slimmer, and it makes the screen look slightly bigger. Now, if we have a closer look at the bezel, you can see it says there's CMF by Nothing. Now you can also pick this watch up in different options. So different shades of grey, from dark grey, which is what I have here, to light grey. And then you have a more sandblasted silver colour. You can also choose different strap colours. And if you look closely on the website, you will see that there are two bezel designs. The flat style, which I have here, and there is a more rounded, thinner bezel design as well. So a few options are available online, and I'm actually hoping that Nothing will give consumers the option to buy the different bezel styles in the near future. Now on the side you have a single rotating crown button which can be used to scroll the main menus. And when you scroll you do feel some nice haptic vibration, and this feature alone is usually only found in premium flagship smartwatches, so it's really nice to have a scrollable crown. Now on the other side there is nothing, but just slightly underneath you will see a speaker grill. So this watch does have a built-in mic and speaker and supports Bluetooth phone calls, so you can take your voice calls directly on the watch. Now the back cover looks and feels like plastic with the health sensors housed in the middle. Now the watch does feature 24/7 heart rate and SPO2 monitoring. This also has an accelerometer and an ambient light sensor. Also on the website there is no mention of gyroscope, barometer or compass, so we have to assume these sensors are not included. Furthermore, the straps are made from a soft silicone TPU material, and they do feature a quick release, so they can be removed and replaced with any 22mm band, and the buckle itself is made from metal. Now watch dimensions are as follows. It's 45mm in diameter, and it has a thickness of 13.6mm and weighs 48.1 grams. Now on my wrist, the watch feels pretty good. It's light and comfortable with a minimalistic look. And in case you're wondering, I have a wrist circumference of 7 inches, and I feel size-wise, it's not too big for my wrist. Now the display itself is nice and bright. It's a 1.32-inch AMOLED always-on display with a screen resolution of 466 by 466, giving you up to 620 nits of peak brightness. Furthermore, the OS is a custom basic OS by the CMF Nothing team. This is a fitness watch and not a full-featured smartwatch, so there is no built-in Wi-Fi and there is no app store or downloadable apps. Furthermore, the watch does support Bluetooth phone calls, so you can take calls directly on the watch, leaving your smartphone in your pocket, and we're going to do a quick call quality test.
So this is a quick call quality test. I'm talking into my smartphone and you should be hearing my voice loud and clear on the smartwatch. So it should give you a good idea of what to expect in terms of Bluetooth call quality when accepting a call on the smartwatch.
Now for connectivity, this watch uses Bluetooth 5.3 to transfer data between your watch and your phone. You also have a pretty decent built-in multi-satellite GPS, and another plus point is this smartwatch works on both Android and iPhones. Now let's talk about the default settings for your health features. So first time you wear the watch, you can expect 24/7 heart rate monitoring already switched on for you. So your heart rate will be monitored throughout the day whilst you wear this watch. 24/7 blood oxygen monitoring is off by default, so you do need to tap on it and activate it from within the smartphone app. And that is also the same with auto stress monitoring. It is off by default, so you need to tap it in order to switch it on. So throughout my test wearing this watch, I had the heart rate, SPO2 and auto stress monitoring on at all times. Now let's discuss the automatic sleep monitoring feature. This watch does a decent job at tracking your sleep and does support multiple sleep stages. Now I did compare the sleep tracking to my health ring, which I wear every night. So let's compare last night's sleep tracking. Wearing the CMF Watch Pro 2 throughout the night, it recorded 7 hours 22 minutes of sleep. So you can see there I went to sleep around 11:15 a.m. and I woke up around 5:22 a.m. But then I also had a daytime nap, which you can see at the bottom, it says snooze. So between 2:20 and 15:30, 1 hour 33 minutes, I had a daytime nap. So that brings my total sleep duration to 7 hours 22 minutes. Now to compare that data, let's open up the Ringcon app and have a look at what it recorded. So I was wearing both of these devices at the same time. You can see 6 hours and 55 minutes of sleep recorded on the smart ring. So the smart ring detected that I went to sleep at 11:09 and the wake up time is more or less the same. So waking up at 5:21 a.m. But I also had a daytime nap and this has been recorded over here. 1 hour 37 minutes of daytime nap, 2:08 to 3:45. 6 hours 55 minutes. Very small gap between both devices and the difference is around 20 something minutes, and it seems like the smart ring detects me falling asleep earlier than the watch does. Both more or less accurate, otherwise wake up times are nearly always the same for both devices. And I know for a fact that the smart ring is accurate because I've already done a full review and compared it to the Apple and Samsung smartwatches. So all in all, the CMF Watch Pro 2 offers pretty good sleep tracking and it's presented very nicely in the watch and the app. Easy to read and follow, showing you the multiple sleep stages, daytime naps, everything at a glance. Now a quick side note, for those of you who are wondering, I am currently testing the Galaxy Ring and the Galaxy Watch 7 and those reviews will be coming soon. I just personally like to take a bit more time and effort to find the hidden flaws, so stay tuned for that. Now, coming back to this watch, let's talk about battery life. This watch has a rather small 305 milliamp hour battery built in. So with every feature switched on, that's 24/7 heart rate, 24/7 SPO2 and stress monitoring, and the always on display activated, and the brightness I usually have set to level 3. There are 5 levels of brightness and I usually have it set to brightness 3 at all times. So I achieved just over 4.5 days of battery life, which I think is quite good considering I had all the features switched on. And if you wanted a better battery life, just switch off the always on display and that will boost your battery by a few days. So on the Nothing website, it states 11 days of battery life in the default mode. So that means 24/7 heart rate on, SPO2 and stress off, and always on display off. And even automatic workout detection would be off. So yes, 11 days is possible in the default settings, possibly even more depending on how you use it. Now let's talk about the always on display. It's off by default and you can activate it from within your watch settings. And you can select some different design presets for your always on display, which I suppose works. But of course, based on the price of this watch, maybe this was the most cost efficient way to give us an always on display. So you can't really complain. At least you have an always on display included. All right, smartphone app, which you had a glimpse of a little bit earlier. It's called the CMF Watch app, supporting both Android and iOS. So yes, you can use this watch with your iPhone, which is exactly what I'm doing. I have an iPhone in my hands. Now let's have a quick look at the app. So you have your health page at a glance, showing you all your health metrics, and the layout is really nice and easy to follow. And it's got that real feel of the Nothing theme going on there. And I do like it. So as soon as you open the app, it will connect to the watch. It will show you the status at the top. It will connect to the watch automatically, and it pairs and syncs all the data from your watch to the phone. And you can view detailed reports of any of these metrics by simply tapping on them. And it will give you a daily, weekly or monthly view of your stats. So neatly arranged. Now at the bottom, if under devices, it will give you a whole bunch of settings to play with. At the top, you'll see the watch name and the percentage of battery. So over here, you have a watch face gallery. So you can actually download watch faces from here. And we're coming back to that. We're going to come back to watch faces in a bit. Common sports. So you can long press to adjust the order in which the sports are displayed. I believe there's around 120 different activities that you can select, and you can also arrange the order around according to your own preference. And under health monitoring, you can switch features on and off as required. Now, under contacts, you can basically add a favorite contact. When you do that, you'll be able to just tap on their name in order to initiate a phone call directly from your watch. So you can add specific contacts that you need. Widgets. So this watch features customizable widgets. And you can see over here, you have a few customization options there. So when you swipe the watch, these are your widgets here. And you can customize what you have on those screens, which is quite good. Notifications. Notifications you can switch on and off as required. Call reminder is basically Bluetooth calls feature. It's actually off by default when I connect it to my iPhone. So you do need to switch this feature on from here if you want to take Bluetooth phone calls. We've got world clock settings. You can add a world clock. You can set alarms, reminders. Under more, you can see find my device, do not disturb, wake on raise. So that's basically the flick your wrist gesture in order to wake the screen. Again, that is off by default, guys. So I actually had to switch that on. All right, we've got do not disturb and we've got workout detection, which is again off by default. I had to switch that on. So many features are off by default. Then you've got a user guide, you've got a firmware update. This watch has already had 2 firmware updates so far since buying it and wearing it. So you can expect regular firmware updates. So that is pretty much your device settings. And under the profile section, you can basically set your daily goals amongst some other options. So a detailed, well-presented, informative smartphone app, which works really well on both iOS and Android. And speaking about iOS compatibility, everything works on the iPhone apart from camera remote and music controls. These 2 features are only available on Android phones, so that is the only limitations I could find. Everything else works great with my iPhone. All right, it's time to talk about watch faces. Now, by default, this watch has 6 watch faces built in. To change the watch face, just keep the center press for a few seconds. You'll feel some haptics and the screen will zoom out slightly. You can now swipe left or right and select a different watch face. Now, you can also download watch faces for free from within the smartphone app. There are nearly 100 different watch faces you can download, and they are organized in categories. So you can see there are a lot of watch faces. You got between 80 and 100 watch faces to begin with, and you can download any of them for free. So all sounds good, but unfortunately, you can only download 6 watch faces at any given time. So there are my 6 watch faces that I've selected. These aren't the default ones. I actually overwrit some of the default ones. If you try and download a 7, let me show you what happens. So CMF Digital, say you want this one over here. It's called Type. You can see 51 KBs. If we try and download it, are you sure you want to use this? Tap yes. And it says you have reached the storage limit. Please select a watch face to replace. So you now have to replace one of these watch faces in order to have that new watch face. So I'll do it just to show you what happens. I'll overwrite the first one called Calendar, replace, and you can see how long it's taking to download. So that's only 51 KB and it's done. You will notice they are typically under 100 KBs in size. So Calendar is 100 KB. If we have a look, this one here, 136. This one over here is 65 KB. Got another one here, 52 KB. So majority of these watch faces are under 100 kilobytes in size. So not megabytes, we're talking about kilobytes. So that means if this watch had only 1 megabyte of internal storage, you could have downloaded and saved at least 10 watch faces. It's very strange when a company does this. I think the minimum should have been at least 10 different watch faces at any given time. 6 does seem a little bit on the lower side. And let me just quickly show you my top 6 watch faces that I like in this watch. So the first one is called Type. Number 2 is called Metric. This one's really cool. It's called Sun Circle. Then we got Sports Mode. This is another really nice watch face. I love the seconds counter. And this one's called Flux. And the last one is basically the default watch face that you see on the front cover of the box. It's called Stop Time. So that was my top 6, but there are of course over 100 that you can download. Alright, so now we're going to go over the watch features. If you swipe down from the top, you're going to see quick toggles for common settings like brightness, torch, system settings, and do not disturb, etc. If you swipe up from the bottom, you've got your notifications, and they are pushed from your phone, and they are all read-only. If you swipe towards the left or the right, you will see your widgets. Now, the widgets can be customized from within the smartphone app. As I showed you earlier, you can change the order around. So the first page of widgets, you've got your health rings and your local weather. If we swipe again, you've got heart rate, sleep, and SPO2 all on one page, which is so neat. Swipe again. Now on this page, you've got music player, step counter, and then you've got a popular workout. So we've got outdoor run. The music player, if you just tap on it, you can press play and you can control music that's playing on your phone. Play, pause, skip, and you've got volume control option as well, which is kind of neat. Now, music control was not supposed to work on iPhone, as I believe, but as you guys just saw, it works fine on my iPhone. So not sure what's happening there, but like I said, we had 2 firmware updates, so maybe the feature became alive at some stage. If we swipe again, you've got your recent phone calls, contacts, and keypad. Swipe once more, it will take you back to the watch face. Now, I just want to mention something about the crown. It's a scrollable crown, so you can't scroll every single page. The only thing you can scroll is when you press it once and you get the system menus, the apps, the built-in apps, you can only scroll these. So far, I've only been able to scroll these from within any other app. So if I go into any other app and I'm looking at the metrics, I can't scroll, I can't do anything. So let's press that button again and go through the apps. So the first one is exercise records, heart rate, blood oxygen, active score, activity, sleep, stress, cycles, world clock, reminder, phone call, music, camera remote. Camera remote is not supposed to work on iPhone, so I'm going to come back to that. Weather, breathing, voice assistant, stopwatch, timers, alarms, calculator, calendar, flashlight, find my phone, and settings. So if I go to camera remote, so if you tap it, it's supposed to open up your camera on your iPhone, which it hasn't done. But it's not really doing anything. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not working. But what happens if I open the camera app and help it out? So I've opened the camera app. I've got the camera open. If I tap on take a picture, oh, that works. So it's actually taking pictures now. What about video? Let's see. Switch to video and then remotely tap. Yes, it's recording. And then press it again to stop recording. So there you go, guys. Camera remote works, but usually on Android, if you tap that, it will open up the camera automatically on your phone. Over here with iPhone, you need to open the camera app yourself. You can't just tap it. You have to open it yourself. And then when you do that, you saw it works. So the 2 features that weren't actually supposed to work, they do somehow still work. Okay, so the real-time heart rate test, I'm going to get it going right now. Here we go, measuring. At the same time, I got my Braun oximeter, medical grade. So we're measuring the watch. The oximeter has already given me 92 beats per minute. You can also see the blood oxygen there, 96. You should be able to see that. We're measuring on the watch right now. 89 versus 95, 90 versus 90, 92 versus 93, 92 versus 92, and then the screen timed out. So I think that was pretty neck and neck. Let's test out blood oxygen monitoring now. We're measuring it. I have to stay completely still. So it's asking me to hold as still as I can. So we've got 98% on the watch and 97% on the oximeter. That is actually very close, guys. And just to see what happens, we're also going to open up my Ring Vitals. So we're measuring the heart rate of all 3 at the same time. We've got 92 beats per minute on both the oximeter and my Ring. 95, 94. So they are more or less on par with each other. 100. The oximeter you can see is a little bit faster, but the Smart Ring does catch up, and you can see over here now 97 versus 102, 99 versus 100, and that turns off. So oximeter is the fastest. It's just in real time. It's really fast. The Smart Ring comes in second, and you can see the results are accurate in the CMF Watch Pro 2, although it's a little bit slow to catch up. That's all. So if you're patient, you will get an accurate reading, as you can see right now. All 3 are neck and neck. Awesome stuff. So there you have it, guys. That was the CMF Watch Pro 2 by Nothing. And here are my thoughts. So I'm quite surprised after testing this watch out. You're getting a lot of premium features included as standard, like auto workout detection, automatic sleep, 24/7 heart rate, SPO2 and stress. You have women's cycle management. You got a rotating crown, IP68 certification. The watch feels super comfy on the wrist. It does feel quite premium. It certainly doesn't look or feel like a £69 watch. GPS is good, Bluetooth calls are clear and works really well. You got great overall compatibility with iPhone and Android. And it's nice to have a cheaper alternative to the Apple Watch that actually works with iPhone and with a much better battery life. Now, there are a few caveats to consider. The AOD is quite basic, so I don't bother using it. I just switch it off. It saves battery in the long run anyway. The deal breaker for me has to be the low space for watch faces. So you can only download and store 6 watch faces at any given time, which is a bit of a letdown. I feel a minimum for even an affordable smartwatch should be at least 10, because that's only 1 megabyte of internal storage, and you should be able to store at least 10 watch faces. They've given us less than 1 megabyte. They've probably given us half of that. which is a bit of a shame for 2024 smart fitness watch. Now, there is no indication that the watch features a gyroscope, barometer, altimeter, or a compass. So if you need those sensors, then you may need to look again. Other than that, for £69, this is actually a very good deal. There's nothing much more that you can complain about. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's comfy on the wrist, and you have a lot of customization options. Now, with all of that being said, I hope you found this video useful. If you want to see more of my latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews, hit the like button, sub to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.